Hello adventurer. My name is Jugs of Light. I am a protection paladin playing World of Warcraft hardcore mode. There seems to be some confusion concerning the spirit/stamina deep protection paladin build, and whether or not spirit is a trash stat. This video will cover spirit, its effect on health and mana regeneration, seal of wisdom, judgment of wisdom, 5-second rule, the calculation of sustain, and finally the cost for the equipment. Enough with the introduction, let's get started. Spirit increases health and mana regeneration. Each point of spirit increases health regeneration while out of combat by up to 0.25 hit points. This means 200 spirit will regenerate 50 health per 2 seconds, 125 health per 5 seconds, for a protection paladin. Spirit will increase mana regeneration by 0.25 mana per tick per point. There is a hidden mana regeneration with your character. As a level 45 human paladin, you will have 57 base spirit. The mana regen is 27.5 mana per tick. Accounting for the 0.25 scaling of spirit, this shows a 13.5 hidden spirit regen. When you have 204 spirit, you regenerate 56 mana per tick. The regen from spirit scaling is 51 per tick. This means the hidden regeneration drops the more spirit you get. This gives the appearance of spirit growing exponentially. The more spirit you get, the less the base regeneration is reduced. For example, the base mana regeneration is 5 per tick at 200 spirit. At 240 spirit, the base regeneration is reduced to 4.5 mana/tick. If you want to build a spirit-based paladin, stacking as much spirit as possible will drastically increase mana regen when hitting the higher stat values. Now that we have a scaling factor for spirit figured out, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Seal of Wisdom. Seal of Wisdom rank 1 cost 135 mana to cast and grants 50 mana on proc. The procs per minute of Seal of Wisdom is 15. The proc chance is calculated as follows: proc per hit equals weapon speed times proc per minute divided by 60. With a knightly longsword's 1.5 weapon swing timer, this gives a proc per hit of 37.5%. This isn't the whole story when it comes to proc effectiveness. We need to account for the miss, dodge, and parry chance. If you are a human paladin using a knightly longsword and have 3 points invested into the precision talent, your chance to miss is 21.4% when fighting a mob of equal level. The mob will have a 5% chance to dodge and parry. Block will not be accounted for as you still gain mana when the target blocks your attack. Each point of sword skill you have reduces the target's chance to dodge and parry by 0.04%. With the sword passive, the 5% chance to dodge is reduced to 4.8%, and the same applies to parry. With dodge and parry accounted for, our white attack failure rate is 31%. This means to calculate the mana regeneration from Seal of Wisdom, we must include the chance to not connect with our melee attack. This is 1 minus 0.31, resulting in a 0.69 scaling factor for Seal of Wisdom. A 1.5 attack speed gives 40 attacks per minute, 27 of which will connect with the target. Of those 27 hits, 37.5 of them should proc Seal of Wisdom. 27 hits times 37.5% times 50 mana per hit yields 506 mana per minute. We must subtract the cost for Seal of Wisdom, 135 times 2. We multiply by 2 as the buff only lasts for 30 seconds, giving the real mana regeneration rate of 236 mana per minute when using Seal of Wisdom. The amount of mana we regenerate is roughly equivalent to 1 cast of rank 2 consecration a minute. Now that we understand Seal of Wisdom, how it is affected by chance to connect with attacks, and the real mana regeneration of this skill, let's discuss Judgment of Wisdom. Judgment of Wisdom costs 68 mana to cast and will grant 33 mana per proc. Each hit on the target will refresh the duration for Judgment of Wisdom and has a 33% chance to proc the mana regeneration effect. The proc chance for Judgment of Wisdom is independent of your weapon attack speed. The faster your attacks, the more mana you will generate. From the previous section, we calculated 27 white hits will, on average, connect with the target within 1 minute. 27 white hits times 0.33 proc rate times 33 mana per proc minus the 68 mana cost for Judgment yields 226 mana per minute. Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom combined will net the Paladin 462 mana per minute. Now that we have a baseline of spirit mana regeneration and the real gains from Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom, let's turn our attention to a real-world use case. Let's say our Paladin has 200 spirit, they will gain 56 mana per tick. We have 30 ticks a minute while the 5-second rule is active. This totals 1680 mana per minute. Try not to cast any spells between fights to keep the regeneration active. How many ticks of mana do we get during a minute of combat? During a 1-minute fight, a Paladin should be casting Consecration as much as possible. That being said, holding for 1 additional second after Consecration ends to cast another will yield another mana tick. For this calculation, let's not consider the use of any other skills. Consecration lasts for 8 seconds. Casting once every 9 seconds will grant us 2 ticks per 9 seconds, or 13 ticks per minute. This totals 728 mana per minute under combat conditions. If you recall, Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom combined gave us 462 mana per minute. This means 200 spirit is 57% more powerful than the main Paladin regeneration skills. This is under combat conditions as well. 6.66 consecrations can be cast per minute. The remainder of 0.66 times 60 yields 6 seconds, or 4 global cooldowns usable within a minute to hold these values true. When rebuffing your seals, do so after you cast Consecration. This will keep better threat and prevent you from messing up your mana regeneration times. Now that we see just how powerful Spirit truly is, it's time for some bonus information concerning Seal of the Crusader and Judgment of Wisdom. Seal of the Crusader increases your attack speed by 40% for 30 seconds. This attack speed increase occurs regardless of the rank. This means you can use rank 1 Seal of the Crusader, costing 35 mana, to grant a 1.07 attack speed with a knightly long sword. From the previous section, we calculated 27 white hits will, on average, connect with the target within 1 minute. Seal of the Crusader changes this to 37.8 attacks per minute. The difference between having and not having Seal of the Crusader totals approximately 11 white hits connecting with your target per minute. Multiplying the 11 white hits by 0.33 proc rate for Judgment of Wisdom and 33 mana per proc and subtracting the Seal of the Crusader base cost of 25 mana, means a Paladin will generate an additional 69.79 mana when using Seal of the Crusader over 1 minute. This is only 29.57% of what you gain from Seal of Wisdom. Now that fun fact is out of the way, let's talk brass tacks. Spirit stamina gear is around 1.5 to 3 gold apiece. Stamina intellect gear will run anywhere between 7 gold to 11 gold per item. For the cost of 3 stamina intellect pieces, you can fully update your stamina spirit set. This difference in cost alone is amazing. Speaking of amazing, let's talk sustain. A stamina spirit paladin can be in combat casting constant consecrations for 2.5 minutes before needing to halt casts for a few moments. I think that about sums up everything. In this video, we discussed hidden mana regen and how it is affected by spirit scaling with mana per tick, the chance to hit with one-handed swords and its effect on Seal of Wisdom and Judgment of Wisdom. We also covered the mana regeneration gained from Seal and Judgment of Wisdom and how powerful Spirit was under battle conditions. As a bonus fact, we covered Seal of the Crusader and how it interacts with Seal of Wisdom and finished up with the cost of gearing the Paladin. I hope you all found this content useful. If you did, please consider hitting the like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be safe.